So much playtime makes dishes hungry.
B-Step finding some answers in their third series of Part 2, up 2-1 over Team 8. Team 8's not out of it yet, but it is so crazy to see our team that did so well at Western Clash, the best team in North America at Western Clash, now struggling versus a team that's also been struggling so far in Part 2.
It's unheard of. Again, if B-Step manages to upset Team 8, I would say we have never had a North American just day ever where you saw this big of upsets. One time I would say maybe even close, you could say we experienced an upset to where maybe Gale Force losing to Note tomorrow, which would have been Vox Nihili at DreamHack Austin, maybe?
Ooh,
right?
That was not
Austin.
That was not DreamHack Austin, that was at Burbank.
But either way, that was like one of the first, like, holy cow, Vox Nihili getting top 4. That was mind-boggling at the time. That was like a 8th place team getting a 6th or 4th place placement. It was just insane to see that, to see 2 times in one day. I feel like a lot of what I'm understanding about the North American scene, what we built, is just quickly crumbling. I
agree. Another game, another battleground. And we'll see if B-Step can close it out here as we check out the battleground pool.
Oh. Not so much that we're going to BOE. That's not the O moment. It's more that was chosen by B-Step.
Yeah.
That's how comfortable they're feeling right now.
I dig it. I'm ready.
You ready to go?
Oh, dude, I love Battlefield of Eternity. I love casting it.
Is it seriously your favorite map?
I think so. It's been Battlefield for a long time, and then I switched to Towers, and then Grand Finals of BlizzCon happened, and I was like, no! Never mind. I'm back to Battlefield.
I'll be honest, my cast versus my play versus my watch are all 3 different maps.
Same.
Like my play and my cast, but even if I'm casually watching like a different region, I want to watch a different map. Like watching Dragonshire is, when I'm not commentary on it, I think is one of the most satisfying things to watch in all of Heroes. There's always, if you can literally just watch a picture of the minimap and get a story in Dragonshire, and I've always found that really awesome. But BOE, I didn't have you pinned as the BOE fan.
Pull up a chair, Dren. It's time for draft number 4.
I'm getting my chair. Does this fit well? Hello. Hi. Oh, these are
they're pretty short.
These are pretty good. We got it going on. Zarya was the ban.
I almost fell.
I'm going to be completely honest.
I can't see the screen.
I can't see the screen.
Okay, we got to stand up.
Yeah, that doesn't work. Well, at least we tried.
We did.
Zarya banned out. Tassadar. You know, same stuff, different draft, really, is how I would put this part.
Most importantly, Lucio music is back.
That's good. Yeah. I don't know. What is this? The fact this is my default dance move is pretty embarrassing. Like, my goodness,
dude. It's about right.
Oh, man.
There we go.
It took all 60 seconds, but we figured it out. We have debunked what, in fact, is going to be the second ban of this game, and it is going to be Tassadar. Malfurion is the pickup for Team 8. So where do we see B-Step move?
Let's consult the charts. Versus an Eventic B-Step, we're focusing on having Li Ming, Muradin, Arthas, but they also were first pick. Yesterday, they did not play
It's going to be Li Ming, Muradin. There's no way, or Arthas. Li Ming, I think, is in this rotation.
I like it too. Even Part 1 B-Step focused a lot on having Li Ming.
Yeah. I think you go with, I want to say the Muradin just because Calf is obviously very impactful on that hero. So I want the Li Ming and the Muradin. Just it's really good synergy, comforts, works on the map. That's what I'm going for. That's my vote. 9 seconds left.
I like it too. And then later on, put K1 Pro back on a new Barak. My goodness.
Bam! We are figuring it out. We got the Li Ming Muradin. Where does Team 8 want to move forward their draft, though? Team 8 on BOE. In fact, we do have one sample post Part 2.
Are they going to get Tahaka again here?
If they want to play that crazy... honestly, I think they got to pick Zeratul, like, right now. Otherwise, Glaurung is going to find himself hero-less. They're either going to pick Varian and put him on Medivh and just bank on the Varian Medivh synergy. No way. Oh! They're giving us the old switcheroo.
How so?
They're gonna Medivh.
Unless it's banned.
I'm putting my... I was gonna say put money down, but I can't say that. Just based on the fact that I don't really have any, honestly, to slap on the table. Take it from the tilt jar. Oh, is this worth a lot? I actually don't know what this one's worth. We gotta use one that's less valuable because somebody will hold me to this at some point in my life.
I have no, yeah,
We're going with this one?
something.
We're going with this one. We're gonna slap my esports dollars down. If this Medivh isn't banned, it's gonna be picked.
Have you been watching the screen?
Yeah, it's just been hovered. So then, why you gotta do this to me, you know? I think it was the smarter ban. It really was. Even with Greymane being shut too, you could snag that. Even with Greymane picked up, and you're like, well, that's a Glaurung hero. Yes, but the Varian is just so less impactful without the Medivh.
Yeah.
It just goes from a debatably out-of-date hero, kind of, in the meta with Enabler to it's just out-of-date hero.
Is there any other way to enable it?
No. Medivh is the only one. Tyrion's the next closest, but we know how hard that can be to, use properly. And who knows? BSEP has the opportunity to pick up a Tyrael in this rotation right now. Doesn't really fit their style, but it would be a really nice counter to everything on the side of Team A.
BSEP have picked Tyrael before, but I say why not go ahead and get a noob again? If they're going to combo a noob Muradin?
Yeah, especially for the deny of the Anub versus the Li Ming.
Yes.
I think that's almost worth more than, the pick itself.
Yeah.
Okay. I will say, at least we got a hammer.
Ooh!
I like the Sergeant Hammer a lot. I'm not even going to talk about the Artanis. We know how I feel about any time I see that hero.
Hammer Li Ming, oh my goodness, timeout. I was all excited because I was like, oh, it's Korea style, Hammer Li Ming, Artanis. It's happened before, but Chromie Abathur? My heart can't take you.
Oh, I'm with you. I'm all with the Li Ming Sergeant Hammer hype train. I am like, let's go. I see the Artanis and I'd be like, why? But everything else, I am like, let's go. When looking at BSTEP's draft.
All we need is Meridae's Karazim.
Yeah, see, we can't pull players. We can draft the same way, but that's not how that works. There's, region locking is a thing.
Fine, we'll have Lieutenant Morales too. Lieutenant Morales and Hammer.
With an Artanis. Like, have you ever seen anything that just felt like so counterintuitive to the other one?
I was like, where's he going with this?
One's like, I want to go in and I want to bring really bad people, to you. And the other one goes, we're really comfortable sitting back and keeping the bad guys over there. And so Artanis is the whole time is just like, I don't know. I'm not feeling this. And a lot of the race is going to be based on Hammer and Li Ming zoning out. I just feel like the Artanis 1-4 split. I can see the thought process. It's Hammer goes in the middle, posts up, Li Ming throws out, so does Sergeant Hammer, and the 1-4 split's going to happen with the Artanis. And if they move throw out, it's going to be fine. But it seems way too risky compared to any other damage dealer to be that 1-4 split.
When you say 1-4 split, are you talking about Artanis being on the offense or the defense?
He's going to be offensively
trying to attack.
Oh, yes. Well, the 4 defense.
What if, since they have the 2 pokers, they keep him on defense, and the idea is swap into stuns with Muradin there too, and then after that they can poke down with Li Ming and Hammer?
Yeah, I mean, you could. You know, that's how I would put it. It doesn't, if you were going to play him defensively, you should have picked a different hero because somebody can defend better, right? You can never just rely on the hook, like the swap. The same way that Stitches has fallen out historically is just anytime you bank on that, it is not a realistic way to approach or think about a hero. It's like, but he can do so many cool. It's like Stitches can do the same thing, but he doesn't die afterwards. You know? I mean,
that's true.
That's my exact thoughts on it. I like your thought process. It goes like, why does Artanis have to be offensive? Because every other hero would have been infinite better defensive. So then you have to make the argument of like, well, then he's got to play offensive in the split. How good are those defending? And just how's the team fight work?
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out maybe what kind of adaptations B-Step can make here with the draft they have been handed or handed themselves.
I mean,
but
to be fair, Teammate decided to get even weirder. They decided to go onto the Abathur with the Chromie, which is where things get a little hairy. You know, Abathur used to be a go-to strategy for BOE.
Let's get into it, and then we can talk about it more.
I'm ready.
Battlefield of Eternity, Chromie Abathur.
All right, so Abathur actually was a main strategy for MVP Black on this map when this map became more popular thanks to them and their play on it. And they were very, very good at the side soak because the skirmish in mid happened so very, very, very long. But the one argument I would have to that composition and what was ran with the Abathur is that this one doesn't really have any reason other than the Artanis pick by B-Step to not just siege into the Sergeant Hammer. You don't actually have to worry about the race that much. It just feels like Abathur won't get that side soak the same way because the constant pressure of a Gleaming and Sergeant Hammer, you know, posted up in mid is just going to be way too fast for the Abathur to really thrive.
Abathur does combo very well with Greymane. An Abathur clone on Greymane is terrifying. So if those two can jump in on the target that has been taunted, hopefully a sieged up Sergeant Hammer. The hope is, I guess, that they can blow her up, but Sergeant Hammer, understanding this, is picked resistant. So anytime she is stunned or rooted, if she's sieged, she gains 50 armor.
Yeah, that is going to force... How many roots, you know, do they have? Only... Oh, a lot of damage there. There's the 50% damage reduction we saw come into play there, keeping him alive. Only Mouth.
It's stuns or roots.
Yeah,
so
the taunt would too. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how many others... That's it, though. Out of everything even possible on the other side. Huh. So that is... really just on Varian, really. You know, just don't taunt her. Malfurion's very easy to not root a sieged up Sergeant Hammer because they obviously aren't moving anyways.
Yeah, and hopefully Sergeant Hammer isn't in a spot where she gets stunned by the Immortal.
Yeah, no, I mean, she doesn't have to be, so yeah. I agree with you there. All right, so we've got it. We've got the Immortal phase. Let's see how it plays out here for the Oso. You know, I feel like it's unfair to call it. Actually, that's not true. Sergeant Hammer on this map was, I feel like, a Korean thing first. K1 Pro, good teleport.
Yeah, it's because of the good poke and awesome siege possibilities in the center of the battleground.
But yeah, I was going to say, this is not how this is typically ran. You know, that's the first thing we have to keep in mind. McIntyre already swapping out. Takes a bit of poke there from Prismatic Cap.
Everyone's body blocked. King Caffeine went down. They're slowly trying to run back through the choke, but first blood claimed by teammate.
They're going to play defensive. It just... Huh. All right, I'm just going to wait a bit more to see how this plays out by B-Step here. This is obviously a little bit out of their comfort, too.
Both these times these roots have caught iDream. iDream hasn't been in siege mode, so not getting the armor from that.
Poke over the wall from K1 Pro.
Yeah, once this gets to halfway, this gets easier for B-Step, as long as they have everyone alive. There's the half. These are going to switch over. It'll be really easy for them to poke down the rest of the way. Do teammate try to defend in this risky spot?
Yes, because with an Abathur, just buying time is so worth it. Even if you don't actually stop them, it's worth the damage, honestly, that you're going to lose, because you aren't going to rid of much on, like, over there by teammate. You know, you don't have anybody who's dominant in the race, only maybe Greymane splitting, but anybody past that is just a bit too much.
Bronze Talons helping with more damage from Prismaticism. gonna be a hat build. Abathur, pressurized glands, and adrenal overload so far. The rest of the health bar is going down, but Teammate has done a fantastic job with this hat build. Abathur and Greymane being able to take down a lot of the shielding from this first Immortal for B-Step.
Yeah, they've done a really good job, and Abathur's gotten the soak necessary. Ooh, hammer on bottom right now is not what B-Step wants to have happen. Always wants that to be able to complement the push with the objective itself. Even so much so that Chromie, one of the best defenders, is going to go down there just to be able to stop her from free sieging up. The rest of the members of B-Step now going to join. So they're going to go for that swap that I was talking about last map we saw at Battlefield of Eternity in the first series of the day.
How much do they get done? 2 towers down. Immortal almost taken out. And with only Greymane left up there, everyone from Teammate making the appropriate rotations to stop this from getting any more done. But at least the well was claimed before B-Step retreats. Sledgehammer.
Be able to help more with the race. This is going to be the Caffeine North American BOE build. I like it. I really do. It does... I don't know. Actually, thinking about it again, like, what do you trade off there?
Thunderburn.
Yeah, which is like a lot of your maximum health post 13. Like a lot of your maximum
static.
health. Yeah, with the healing static. For those who don't know, Thunderburn works with your healing static at 13 for both waves. So what that means, if I was to drop it on top of 3 people, I would get the healing for all 3. And then the second burn that would come out, I would get healed for hitting 3 more. Which is why he becomes so insane when diving the backline, getting multiple W's with the Iron Forge momentum at 7. Shout out to Honkono for the creator of that build, but it just... Is it worth losing that secondary healing wave for the race? I don't know, but I like it. I think it's one of the few innovations on talents for BOE specifically that I'm like, I see where this is headed. I like it. Let's go.
There's been lots of innovations on talents on either side. Triumvirate at level 4, so no dominance for the increased healing for Li Ming. It's putting even more pressure on APM to be able to keep everyone alive, and on K1 Pro to make sure that he's in the right position. Mule picked by Abathur, and Worgen build for Greymane.
Yeah, to be able to stop this pressure that I expected Sergeant Hammer to be able to put out early on to the game. Okay, so, Gilly, correct me if I'm wrong, but is iDream's sieging position here very different than most of the times that you see Sergeant Hammer played on BOE?
Yeah.
Rather than posting up around the center and then just controlling the area.
Right. Yeah, you post up around the rocks, like on the inside of the rock, and then you have everyone protect.
And you pull the "Are you not entertained?" You know, just anybody wants a battle. And I mean, obviously a bit of that comes out of just fear of the Chromie. I
don't think that MVP Black ever had to play versus Chromie with this comp.
Yeah, that's a good point. And they aren't the only ones, you know. It's a multi-team strategy at this point. But it is one that still holds true in Korea. I just figured...
Yeah, L5 I think played it even today.
I'm surprised at the little attempt, you know, to do that and get the control. Here's going to be another one.
So APM just sits there to be able to heal, but Chromie damage does so much even without any stuns or roots. Swap hits Glaurung. A lot of members blocking him, but with quick jumps, he's able to get back in time.
This is going to be another Immortal going over to B-Step. This one's significantly healthier than the last.
The teammates split soaking is starting to come into effect. They almost have heroic abilities against this push for B-Step.
With this 10 talent tier, teammate will obviously have it a bit earlier, especially that site. No, it won't be missed, so they are fine. But what do you want to see at 10 for Sergeant Hammer? You know there's really only one answer here.
You know I want the blunt force gun.
Give him the BFG. I really think that would be so good into teammates' composition. With a mouth, Chromie is the only... Greymane, all those are pretty vulnerable to the BFG. Nice, we get it.
Nice. Medevac dropship 2, Wave of Force, which is why we see Glaurung all of a sudden dive in toward the team. There it goes. Fort will drop.
Yoda has got the Greymane clone. Cap's the only one in a bad spot.
Still has Avatar.
There's going to be Healing Beam with the Avatar.
Safeguard 2, 25 armor. Heroic abilities for teammate. Once again, slowing sands.
If you are taking this altered version of a build for Caffeine, hold on a minute. Greymane go for the throw over the wall. Not going to get a kill. Do you mix up your 13?
If you don't have Thunderburn. Let's see. Thunderstrike is also there if he wants to try to get those solo kills. That is a King Caffeine talent of old.
That is the old school Murden, right? Like the original Murden build was with that talent. Is there any... that would be the only one I can see myself taking.
He has one more talent there. Is it Burning Rage?
It is a form, I believe. And it's just like, why? Well, you know, when looking at your other talents? I think it'd be worth it to go for the 300 damage, honestly. Especially without having 5 bodies.
So long since we've had a Thunderstrike.
I'd like to see it. Especially because if you get on top of Chromie, she's just dead. Post 20, this build, one-shots Chromie.
Thunderstrike, Blunt Force Gun. Ayo. I'm getting excited. Why did you have to get this idea into my head? We know we're going to see healing static.
You know, oh man, look at that flank coming up from Glorong.
Does the mule force the fight? Do they force B-Step to go in?
It can, especially once that clone is seen. They didn't want nothing to do with that.
Yep, double Greymane. No thank you, Greymane. B-Step walk back. They are okay to allow that to heal back up, especially with Immortals fighting and a Bruiser Camp up for grabs.
The defensive posturing of the Immortal is going to allow B-Step to pick up their Shaman, but teammate will feel the same way. iDream looking to move up, post up on the block.
Where's he sieging?
Very carefully.
Yeah, they're trying to clear out those mines too. There's mines, locust or toxic nests, and then there is also the time traps. So moving around is outside of that scouting drone is a bit tricky.
Swap not going to land.
Ooh, that taunt was on top of the stun.
Cleanse was used by APM. Looks like the rest of B-Step are going to move up. iDream takes a rotation. He will back out. Ooh, nice second Q follow-up from Prismat.
Shaman Camp doing more to the structures of B-Step. Starting to bring down the fort.
It's the Abathur effect right there. Abathur's pretty good at just like over time whittling away at camps if they are not getting value right out the gates. He really is weak at bursting them, but he's good at like, if it has to move a whole wave, he's like, I'll get it eventually, it's fine. Just one Q rotation, throw out the spells, drop it, join a fight, revisit when needed. Almost got the fort, but it was not completely removed. Artanis was able to rid of it.
Klaus spots him. Wants to be careful for King Caffeine. Rotation in from Murden could spell his doom. The poking here is favoring teammate. They've got Prismaticism who can long range, especially with reaching through time, hit those Dragon's Breaths slowly but surely. And B-Step understanding that is trying to push them back.
That was the Chromie and Abathur strat, you know? Poke with Chromie to make the Li Ming and Sergeant Hammer pressure die. Taunt went out.
Healing static for Murden.
And then Abathur get the side soak. Swap not landing there from McIntyre. And we're going to hang out here in the dance of Battlefield of Eternity for a while. Stun lands onto Glorong. BFG used.
Just a little bit longer and Prismaticism will get this poke the rest of the way, using Lion's Fang even, just trying to force the swap of the Immortals. iDream can siege up. Oh, he's been spotted. Dragon's Breath there.
Conveniently, McIntyre took the Q. Abathur's putting teammate ahead when it comes to soak.
That's the siege spot.
I'm
How long does
surprised.
it last?
I mean, he had about a good solid second.
Taunt hit him too, so he did have the resistance through a lot of that damage. Also healing beam there too. It's almost there, but K1 Pro keeps throwing out as many abilities as he can. Still, Team 8 standing strong, holding on through that, blocking a lot of those, trying to let Chromie siege, and Abathur, about a half level advantage for Team 8.
I'm just amazed he hasn't body soaked at all. He has not moved from his home, you know, next to that keep on bottom. And normally that's just like a, well, it's unpredictable to see the rotations, but they've had about like 3 minutes of seeing B-Step just hanging out here in mid.
Yeah, there's no Zeratul.
Yeah, so, and no global period. I just figured that that would lead Yoda to venture outward, but he hasn't, at least not yet. Taunt lands on to McIntyre, follow-up stun from the Immortal Twilight Dream. He's gonna say goodnight.
Blast through Artanis. APM is so low in health inside of this medevac dropship, and hello, King Caffeine was there too. Lieutenant Morales goes down. B-Step will clear out the clone, but not before losing 2 of their own. This may be our first Immortal going to Team 8.
They're gonna start it up. See what the members of B-Step want to make happen, as they look like they're trying to go out and maybe catch somebody off. Justin will be alone. Nope, they're gonna play more patient. I was excited for a moment. I saw Murden, and I think it was the Artanis down there, and it's like, this is it. You know, they're gonna look for the B-Step Dream. With Abathur giving them the advantage with the soak, Team 8 here will very quickly get that 16 mark, and with that much shielding, that could be a keep. That root force the Avatar.
That's a frustrating start to this defense for B-Step. There is no wall to try to poke down the shielding of this Immortal behind us. Immortal will throw out some abilities, being on Li Ming, who has teleport, but everyone else is going to start posting up behind the towers. Level 16 here for teammate. Adrenaline boost is the only thing I see that's a little bit different, but in this instance giving movement speed to the Carapace target, so just fully committing to glowering on that gray main.
Shielding and the health of the Immortals at the 50%. Looks like it's going to be very confidently the first keep of the game, even with the BFG being thrown out. B-Step with this, the Leeming Sergeant Hammer hype. Chromie is just from Team 8. Prismaticism just really made it to where not a single ounce of what you expect to see of Sergeant Hammer on Battlefield of Eternity is not even possible. Just purely based on the damage output.
Yeah, the last Immortal phase was played very well for Team 8, especially knowing B-Step's general style of what they like to play on Battlefield of Eternity. We've known them for a long time to like a slower poke style, but that doesn't work versus Abathur for them. It plays into the hands of Team 8 to play that way.
It really does. You know, it's every Immortal is a... Abathur puts the pressure on you saying, well, you got to get that much damage out, and usually that 5 versus 4 is hard to move into. More international flavor from Team 8 here, even today, when it comes to some of their drafting. B-Step's looking to get this fort, sieging up with Sergeant Hammer. Sergeant Hammer has hit 16.
Yeah, has graduating range.
With the 13 of Chromie, which outrange is what at max range? I think Chromie's W, for instance, right there just hit at max range, and the Q missed, barely. You know what I mean? When you get a full graduating range mixed with the 13 and the increased range coming out of Chromie? I actually don't know that. I feel like it's almost identical? It's near identical, but I feel like somebody's got to win. There's no way it's flat even.
I don't know either.
We'll
see once we get to the Immortal phase, which is now.
Conveniently, the Immortals have landed here on Earth, or whatever this world is that this game is being played.
It is the Battlefield of Eternity.
I mean, yeah, but like, it feels like it's a part of a different universe, you know? Like, Battlefield of Eternity doesn't exist in the same world that Cursed Hollow does, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Like if you spin the globe, you won't just land on a curse at some point. So, like, do you call their world Battlefield of Eternity, or you just call the map? That's just a section.
Isn't this Eternal Conflict?
Is that the world? That was a part of the Eternal Conflict.
Is it just Diablo? Tristram?
Maybe. I don't know. This is what I need your help for.
If you know, you can use the hashtag HGC and tweet at us, letting us know where, in fact, the world is that Battlefield of Eternity takes place.
That was 3 catapults on core, forcing all the members of B-Step to back out.
Nicely done.
We even got the lower third for you guys.
Look at that. Halfway point achieved by Team 8 solely because all of B-Step took a mini, went back, defended their core, defended their final keep, and now return to battle. 2 levels down to Team 8. Team 8 are quickly approaching level 20. They're trying to get to 20. Can B-Step get the fight before then? Once again, we look for the swap, and Taunt immediately follows. Catching McIntyre is going to get stunned again from the Immortal. McIntyre can't catch a break.
Twilight Dream is going to be used. Go for the throat, too. And now Caffeine manages to survive. He does have his avatar up in 20 seconds. The members of B-Step are on the retreat here. Halftime of the Immortals was kicked off. Defensive positioning for both sides, but Abathur will get 20 here for Team 8, so even if nobody does any damage whatsoever, this is going to only increase the huge advantage that Team 8 has managed to achieve. Should be game for Team 8 here. Now with the Abathur pressure and getting that pick. It just bought just the right amount of time to be like, all right, we now have an Abathur, we have a keep, we have 2 keeps soon, and Abathur should control the map well enough to where B-Step always has to make a losing decision.
Core shielding was starting to fall for B-Step, but it is, well, there's another chunk. And Sergeant Hammer headed back. Artanis spawns. 20 here. Andor Hall Anomaly. Glory to the Alliance. Bolt for the Twilight Dream of Legend. Hive Mind. And then, as well as the Quicksilver Bullets, Hunter's Blunderbuss. So favoring that range and now having a splash damage.
There was a taunt used, but you know, only 12 seconds and it'll be back. The cam pressure up on top. iDream on that Sergeant Hammer, questioning if he wants to rid of it. It looks like he will. That means Team 8 is just gonna walk up and rid of the shielding onto the Immortal. Even get the camp.
Thanks to some wonky charging in.
Pathing OP. Double camp. Half health Immortal.
2-level lead.
This should be it. I don't... There's very few worlds where B-Step manages to survive, but it's B-Step. We're at the late game. This is where they thrive.
But they don't have 20. But they do have swap potential.
I just, you know, I always believe in them at this point. It's too consistent to not believe in it. Here we go. Shielding damage is real. Keep falling to half HP. Shields removed, so no longer game. Because they're just ripping through this thing's HP bar.
Yeah, McIntyre has triple strike now, along with amateur opponent, so he can do a lot, as well as iDream and K1 Pro. Team 8 see the BFG go out. This is starting to fall. McIntyre's in trouble. Twilight Dream wrecks through 3. 2 are already down. King Caffeine Dwarf tosses into the core in time. But that'll be it with 1 Twilight Dream. Team 8 secures the fate of B-Step in Game 3, Game 4, and we're going to Game 5. I was just checking to make sure you guys were paying attention.
I had to take a minute where I was like, what game are we on exactly? You know, I think it's about the 3rd time we have derped that one right up, but now it's still a victory for B-Step, I feel like. The fact that we're even going to a game number 5. You know, Team 8, creativity with the Abathur to deal with this long sustaining fight. The Chromie actually, I think, made it more than the Abathur. The Chromie stopped the siege. The Abathur like accented on how slow it was made for B-Step here in this game.
Well, it all comes down to this. Game 5 right after this.